Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Coco LaBon. Today I'm going to do creamy Tuscan chicken, and it's a recipe that I found on the Delish website. So shout out to Delish, and I think you're really going to like this one. Only takes about 30 minutes, so stay tuned. Okay, I'm going to turn my burner on. I've got some chicken breast. And I am going to brown these. I just have a little bit of olive oil in the pan. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. So you want to season it with salt, pepper, and then also some dried oregano. So make sure you have this. And basically I want to get it really nice and brown. So this is going to take probably about 8 minutes or so on each side. And I have really thinly sliced chicken breasts because for me that works for now. You can use thicker breast if you want. You'll just have to cook them a little bit longer. So we will check the progress in just a couple of minutes and wait for that to get hot and start sizzling. And I am doing this in a cast iron skillet because I really want to get a nice brown on it. So check back in 1 second. So the chicken I have flipped a couple of times now. It's starting to get a really nice brown color, which because I want to make sure it's really cooked well. But I also like sort of the brown edges, because I want to make sure that the chicken is done. That looks really good. Looks really good. I'm going to add just a little bit extra oregano. And I actually really enjoy cooking, and I love trying new recipes, so this will be the first time I'm making the creamy Tuscan chicken, so I'm really looking forward to this. Okay, so I put the chicken aside, and now I'm going to start on the rest of this amazing recipe. So I'm melting some butter in a pan. And this is probably the equivalent of maybe a couple of tablespoons of butter. If you want to keep it lower fat, use olive oil. So now that that's melting, I'm going to add about 3 garlic cloves. I've already diced them up. I like to prep everything so it's ready to go. And let that start cooking. So now we have the garlic and butter going. I tell you, there's nothing like the smell of garlic and butter cooking. It's so good. Oh my God. That smells like probably, the restaurant, when you go out to a restaurant, and usually like an Italian restaurant, you can just smell butter and garlic. Oh, it's so amazing. A lot of times that's because of the bread, I think, but so this is cooking, so oh my gosh, that smells amazing. So now that that's cooking, I'm going to add I just cut in half a few cherry tomatoes. These are sweet cherry tomatoes. You can leave them whole if you want to. And I didn't want to overdo it, so I just want to cook them enough until they start to soften a little bit. That is so amazing. When you cook the whole tomatoes, if you cook the whole cherry tomato, And I believe you could probably use grape tomatoes as well, but these cherry tomatoes, they actually have a sweetness to them, and they are very good. You can just snack on them. They're really good. And tomatoes, of course, are very good for you anyway. So that's starting to cook. Oh my gosh. I'm going to turn my heat down just a teeny bit. Okay, the tomatoes are softening up a little bit. Well, my garlic is almost looking like it's going to burn. I don't want it to burn, so I'm going to go ahead and add the next ingredient, which is about half a cup of heavy cream. And I'm just going to add a teeny bit more, just to be safe. Mostly because things cook out so fast, so I did turn the heat down a little bit. So now you can see we're kind of developing this cream sauce. So you've got the cream, the garlic, the butter, and the tomatoes. Again, that smells amazing. This is restaurant quality food. Like, I love this. But I'm trying not to burn my cream and all of that. So once that starts cooking, then I need to add about a quarter cup of, I'm adding shredded Parmesan cheese. And I'm going to continue to stir that to create a little bit of a sauce. That really thickens up this sauce. Oh wow, and the tomatoes are starting to cook and get softened, and it's going to be amazing. So now I kind of have this thick cheese creamy sauce. If you're on a serious diet, you might want to skip this, or you might want to use a low-fat cheese of some sort. Now, just to add a little bit of something, I'm going to just add this is not in the recipe, but it's in my recipe. Just a little bit of Pinot Noir. It's a very dry wine, but it's great to cook with. Just because it adds a little bit of acid, and I want to stretch out the sauce just a little bit, so thin it out. I don't want it to be just so thick. So that did a good job of thinning it out. Now I can turn my heat up just a little bit. Now I'm going to add some fresh spinach. And I'm just going to add as much as I can get in here until it starts to wilt. Because, you know, spinach will cook way down. And of course, I love to get the spinach that is pre-washed. So I'm going to start to incorporate the spinach. This is not going to take very long. We'll get that wilted down into the sauce. I think that's all the spinach that I want. And this is great because it's like a one-pot meal, and which means, you know, your vegetable is already there. You've got some dairy, you've got tomatoes, you've got the green spinach, and then you're going to have your protein, the chicken. Okay, so that's wilting down very nicely. Now that it's wilted down, I'm debating whether I want to add a little more. I think I'm okay with this. I may just cook some spinach on the side. Okay. And I stirred the sauce enough to make sure it's well incorporated. And then I'm just going to add the chicken back in. Adding my pieces of chicken back in. This is a really pretty dish too. Oh, this looks like something you would get at a restaurant. That would take forever, but really this only took about less than 30 minutes to make. I'm doing this pretty much in real time. And I think to top it off, I'm going to let it cook a little bit. I'm going to turn the heat down a little more because I don't want it to scald. And I want to make sure that chicken is cooked. And you can see that looks amazing. This looks like something you get at a restaurant. And it smells like it too. And this is pretty much ready. I'm going to add just some lemon slices in here to add a little bit more acid flavor. Make it look pretty. And I may just add a couple more tomatoes on top, so I'm going to cut those up. And just toss those on top. Mainly because I love the color of the tomatoes. It's just so pretty. But you get that little burst of flavor also. I'm just excited because this took such a short amount of time to cook, to look like it, to look like this. This looks like very high-end restaurant food. I'll do one more tomato. Oh my gosh, that looks amazing, by the way. You get your good visual of this. This looks fantastic. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off because this is basically ready. So I'm just going to get a little out so I can sample it. Taste it and see how it came out. It looks amazing. Oh, I can't wait. That's amazing. That's really good. This is really good. You gotta try it. Join me next time on Cooking with Coco LaBon. See you later.